What's going on, guys? Nick Hellman here, aka the Crypto Hitman, and I have another interview for you. Today, I have the co-founder of Horizen Global. This is Rob Viglione. Now, he might look a little familiar. He was one of the first interviews I did back in 2017, I believe. And I think my channel, Learn Crypto, was also one of the first interviews for Horizen all the way back then. So this is crazy that you guys have survived. So how are you doing, and kind of what's the general overview of the project lately?
Nick, it feels surreal to be here. Great to see you again, and hello to everyone on the channel. It's fun times for Horizon. Happy to talk about all the latest things. Just the fact that we've been around since 2017 is interesting in itself, and we'll talk about a lot of the technical and platform deliveries that are upcoming that have happened, some of the Grayscale news that came out. Then, of course, there's been a lot of action going on in our markets, so we could talk about some of the new listings and things that have been, I think, part of that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you guys have been around for a while. So some people would put you in the Dino coin category, even though you're not, you're kind of a cycle after Ethereum and Litecoin. So I don't really consider you a Dino coin. But some people say that when I post about Zen, like, Dino coin, they lose a little interest. So I'm interested to see how you're going to kind of get out of that quote unquote negative narrative, get that
Mhm.
fresh new look, get the new fresh users, investors, speculators on board with
Yep.
Horizon. And I think a lot of that starts with Q1 2025 as you guys are rolling out this new mainnet. So I guess let's dive right into it. Let's talk about what's new with Horizon, how is it going to be fresh again, and why people should take a second look.
100%. So it's funny. Like I actually, I kind of like the Dino Coin narrative. Maybe that's the wrong way to
A
look at it.
survivor, a survivor.
Yeah, I mean, like there's something about evolution as well. When projects, like if you look at our peers from back then, like so we started the project in 2016 actually and launched in 17. And if you look at our peers, those that we thought that we were competing with back then, they're mostly gone. They're dead. Projects, stalled. They're not around anymore. Horizon's been doing the opposite. So no, we're definitely not the sizes of Ethereum. We haven't had that kind of success or anything, but we have chosen a niche. I think this is important. So I think what we're getting at now, and you'll see this with the new platform release, is we're getting back to our roots in terms of the mission that we thought was really important back then. We think is even more important today, which is privacy. And now, not privacy for being a privacy coin, because I think that, well, our community overwhelmingly voted to not be a privacy coin, which, pluses and minuses with that. But Horizon 2.0 is going to be a pretty souped up privacy platform. So that's kind of the big news is what's going on the tech side. We've never stopped innovating. In fact, we've done a lot on the ZK side. ZK as a class of tech and a kind of a segment of the industry seems to be coming back into fashion, but I think it's not just about coming back into fashion. Like the tech's actually matured to the point where it's useful now.
Yeah, I think that's a thing to hit on too. Is you guys were a privacy coin. That's kind of why we got involved. You guys had a big run up in user base and investors and speculators, and that was great and grand. But you guys were able to pivot because then there was a lot
Mhm.
of fear about the regulation for privacy coins getting delisted. I know you guys had a tag on Binance, which
Yep.
I think has just been removed, which is amazing. So you
Yep.
guys were able to pivot, but now it's interesting that you're kind of pivoting back to the privacy ecosystem and the privacy platform, as that's become a really strong narrative lately in the crypto markets. But also, you're hearing this out of the likes of traditional finance people like Elon Musk, and even Trump has mentioned
Mhm.
privacy and some of these, innate human rights that are owed to people that people are starting to open their eyes to. And that's maybe why Horizon has come back to the forefront, and maybe why Grayscale is starting to load back up on more Zen tokens as well.
Exactly. So, I mean, the way we look at it is there have been ups and downs in terms of, I don't know, regulatory intervention in our industry and kind of regulatory oversight. Privacy had a bit of a bad rap for some years. And in fact, like there were kind of risks of delistings across exchanges. This where Binance put the monitoring tag on Zen. And then, like you said, it was actually recently removed earlier this year. That was a really big deal for us. So being a privacy coin, we knew all along was going to at some point bump up against regulatory, issues. So we kind of stepped away from that, but we said, okay, well, Zcash is doing that really well. There's still Monero, right? There were actually products in the market, and what we started to do was think more like entrepreneurs. And what problem are we solving in the market, and how are we different from other people that are trying to solve the same problem? So you have the privacy coins that are out there, but now with the emergence and kind of maturation of ZK as a class of technology, we could roll out a platform that actually gets the best and most efficient ZK for privacy applications that you can get out there. So when we launched in 2017, we were all about privacy. We've always been about privacy. Yes, we stepped away from being a privacy coin, but we never lost interest in being a privacy project. So now what we're doing is we're filling a gap in the market that we think is absolutely needed. And now that we have a friendly, what seems to be kind of like an end to the war on crypto, we think that now we can actually push hard back into the privacy narrative and be loud about it. And just the reality, the world needs privacy. If more action goes on chain, we absolutely need privacy. So now projects that can provide the tooling, the resources, the communities, just the kind of center of gravity to make these things happen and scale, I think they're going to be very successful. So Horizon's stepping up and having kind of a new kind of step at bat for product market fit in the privacy space.
Yeah, so product market fit, especially in the crypto ecosystem, and there's isn't stocks, there is no equity, so it's all token based. A lot of that value comes from utilization of the platform. So if we're talking about the platform, is the target of this platform using ZK technology
Mhm.
to be a network in which more projects launch on your platform, or are you focusing more on, Web2 companies needing privacy tooling and paying you for that, and some of that value flows back into token holders? Like where is this platform going? Is it trying to be a network that people build on and launch tokens? Is it trying to
Yeah.
be Web 2 bridging the Web 3 value over, or like what's up with the platform itself?
Yeah, I mean, like I think this is a question for a big chunk of the industry is where do we see that kind of on the margin, the next like leg up of growth? I do think that there's a lot of fertile ground for privacy within Web3. So I think Web3 accelerated and you have a lot of like important functions out there like DeFi and then an explosion of NFTs, meme coins, and a lot of other things that happened in Web3. But fundamentally, we blew past the idea of privacy. And there are some projects that are adding still kind of layers of privacy. We fundamentally look at Horizon as a privacy layer for Web3 primarily, right? And as Web3 explodes out there, we start getting more real world use cases in Web2. We see that that's going to kind of extend into that. But right now, the way we're looking at it is we're looking at providing this layer to existing Web3. Yes, we have a platform. So Horizen 2.0 is a platform itself, but we're going to be extending that platform. And the vision is actually to be privacy for all of Web3. Now, it's a big mission. All right, but it's a mission that we've been on for a while. We are experts in it, and we have a community that's been rallying around that for years.
So does the utilization of the platform, say you're a project in crypto currently right now, your EVM compatible project, is
Yeah.
there a way to utilize the Horizon ZK platform as an existing project? Would they need to bridge, or would you need to, is this targeting new projects that haven't even hit the market yet?
Yeah, no, so 100%. I think so. As we're going live with Horizon 2.0, we are actually looking to go live with a handful of unique projects that don't exist anywhere else, and that'll be kind of the core of it. So the company that I run, called Horizon Labs, has been working a variety of things over the years. And Horizon Labs also recently launched Ape Chain with Arbitrum, and the Off-Chain Labs team from Arbitrum. And we learned from that launch, which was, I would say, very successful. We learned that having kind of a core, like a kernel of unique applications that are just there is really important. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Like this is like our recipe or playbook for Horizon 2. We're going to do that here. We're going to have a unique set of privacy applications that are going to launch with Horizon 2. But then because it is an EVM and because it has a whole bunch of easy ZK tooling under the hood that just makes using ZK super fast, cheap, and efficient, then we can extend it out to existing Web3 projects that can launch there if privacy layer adds value to the applications or not, right? And then we're going to be on the hunt, obviously, to build out our own ecosystem there. But like I think the bigger vision here, though, again, isn't just to build our own kind of unique independent ecosystem. I think that ship has sailed as an industry. I think you're seeing clusterings of important ecosystems. Obviously, you've got the Ethereum world, the L2s, and L2s are clustering in Ethereum from the Arbitrum to the OP stack to the ZK rollups and so forth. Pick your flavor, but you have ecosystems here that are sort of accelerating at their own pace. So I think ultimately Horizon is going to have to plug into either one or more of these ecosystems to get on that acceleration kind of curve itself. So we're definitely not looking to be a siloed ecosystem just only for privacy apps, but it's definitely like as soon as we launch, it'll be the best place for privacy apps. But we're going to very rapidly extend that. And our 2025 roadmap is going to be looking at how can we add privacy as a layer to some of these other really important ecosystems.
Yeah, I think that's really important because, like you said, you need that interoperability because the problem is we're beyond the days, the early days you were here, obviously, where a layer two or layer one launches and everybody will try it out because everybody's coming to the market at the same time, and those can all thrive and succeed. Now there's so many of those already out, and it's really hard to get people to move from one chain to another or from one ecosystem to another. They're comfortable there. They have a bulk of their
Yep.
funds there. They want to rotate, trade, speculate within that ecosystem. So having interoperability and kind of bootstrapping with other projects is how you're going to find success. And then for those who are speculators and willing to make the move, or maybe current Zen holders, why would they want to add more Zen to their bags? Maybe because they want to be early to the platform, try to get in on their early projects that you're talking about here
Yep.
that might provide a really good utility for them, but also might provide a massive upside for those speculators and investors as well. So I guess as far as utility of the Zen token itself, how does that evolve with Horizen 2.0? Is there minimum holding requirements for products who want to launch there? Is there minimal holding requirements for users? Or is it really the gas like Ethereum on the Horizen 2.0 chain? Like, what is the utility for the underlying Zen outside of just solo staking or having a supernode, which we'll talk about here in a second?
Yep, totally. So it's a gas model. So the way I look at it, for its utility token, where you're making a bet basically on privacy being important for Web3. If you think that that's the case, we're one of the leading projects that is pushing that actively. We have a phenomenal tech team who've been around for a while. So the Dino Coin thing actually does translate into a like battle-hardened team that's been through many cycles, right? So we know what we're doing. We know the mistakes we've made over the years in terms of lack of product market fit and pushing hard on this current pivot, and we have a lot of successes. The people behind the project, like Horizon Labs, they just launched Ape Chain. So again, like just want to stress, we know what we're doing. And if you believe that privacy is going to be a really important narrative for Web3, we are one of those projects that's really important. There's a lot of stuff like under the hood there, like at kind of like the microstructure level. We just went through our last and final halving, which is really important from like the scarcity of the tokenomics. We have a Grayscale investment product, so we have institutional support. This, itself is a major statement that privacy is important, and Zen is part of that portfolio of privacy, right? And then we have like amazing markets microstructure. So, if you look at Zen itself, in part because it's been around for a while, and also part because we're still a very active team and community. We have great markets on Binance. We're on Coinbase. We've got just recently in Europe Bitfavo listing. So we're getting out there constantly. We're getting new perps markets. Like it seems like every week now. So the liquidity, trading volume, like everything you would expect for a mature project is there. Now again, it's kind of on the margin. Do you want to make a bet on privacy or not? Like, and if the answer is yes, Zen's a really good option for that.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said. The Dino coin narrative or whatever, I think you guys still have another cycle for that. Some people say that you have limited upside on quote unquote Dino coins, but you guys aren't just stuck in your route. You guys are about to launch a 2.0 version, and you guys have all that product market fit. Hopefully, we'll see if it happens. But you are
Yep.
available to any retailers that come to the market. Binance removed the tag, like you
100%.
said, Coinbase. So what's going on with Grayscale? Obviously, I knew there was a Grayscale product years ago. They got
Yep.
involved. Obviously, that was massive for the token price back then. But what's this new Grayscale? Is it the same trust as a new product, or is it just them going out and adding to their existing produt? I'm kind
So
of
it's
confused
kind
on
of
that.
all of the above. It's kind of multiple of those. So it's them going out and adding to the product. They recently, so I guess taking a step back, it's more of an affirmation that Horizon 2.0 is an interesting and important platform, and the end mission of privacy is really important for Grayscale. And they think that this is going to be one of the kind of major pillars of the industry as we evolve over the coming years. Privacy is going to be important, and Zen with this renewed Horizon 2.0 is part of that and continuing to be part of that. That itself is major affirmation. It's one that I'm extremely proud of, and excited that Grayscale decided to do that. Now, in that vein, they reopened subscriptions to the Horizon Trust. They, apparently, and there are people in our community that are constantly tracking their wallets. They did load up on some Zen, it seems, right? And just community got word of that, and people just got really excited that there's now kind of a renewed and expanded institutional channel for Zen and our mission to be important and an important part of the kind of the coming cycle.
That's amazing. So I guess the last kind of topic, because we're definitely going to need other interviews to dive deeper into products and once the platform launches and everything else.
Yeah.
But how do people get involved now? How do they get involved with the platform that, before it gets fully launched? What do they do
Yep.
with their Zen token? You guys used to have a node structure. Actually, we
Yep.
were one of the first channels I got you guys to leak that
Yep.
information out there about the secure nodes and the super nodes coming up. Does the
Yep.
secure node and the super node still exist? And I know proof of work is now gone.
Mhm.
So if you want to kind of explain the direction that you guys are doing for the inflation that you have going on and how people can get
Yep.
rewarded and how people can get started.
Totally. Yeah. And such an important question. So, and again, thank you for being, I remember that early days leaking that news. That was awesome. Um, Supernodes still exist, but they are going to be deprecated when we go to Horizon 2.0. So Horizon 2.0 is going to be an EVM chain, and it will have collators on the chain. So basically, collators are going to be the same kind of proof of stake network out there that will be reported. So basically, we have Horizon actually has two chains right now, and it's kind of a little known fact is we have the proof of work chain that's still running, and then we have an EVM chain that's a side chain to it. So those two chains are basically merging in Horizon 2.0 with a much more modern framework, and it'll be much faster performant than everything. But basically, that merge is going to wipe out the existing system, which has supernodes and which has EVM, forger nodes. They're all combining to basically be collator nodes on the new EVM platform. So that's the opportunity is to participate in infrastructure there. You don't have to, like in the new system, there'll be a delegation mechanism there. So like, again, a more modern stake system. So you'll be able to just simply delegate your Zen to a node that's running, and you'll be able to earn rewards that way. So it's a very clean, efficient way this smart contract enforced, which is always great for security. Or you can run a node and try to attract people to delegate their stake to you. So there's multiple ways to participate in that. I will say, like one other catalyst here, which is another way for different types of users to participate. We're going to, for the first time in our history, have a substantial grant program because what we did with Horizon 2.0, we're rolling out basically like tokenomics 2.0. So we're redoing the tokenomics. Now, about 75% of Zen has already been mined. We're not producing any more Zen, right? So there's only 25% of Zen that will ever exist to be emitted over the next like 100 years. But of that 25%, we've modernized it completely and we've carved out a huge chunk for the community for literally just a massive grant program for privacy applications. So this is where if you want to build an application, now you don't have to be a developer, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be someone who just wants to participate in some of these communities. But I think we're going to have one of the most robust and kind of like interesting privacy application ecosystems because now we have real money to throw out this problem. And before it was more like we were one of these, Dino projects. So like in the old days, we had certain kind of values of like fair launches and, like we didn't have team allocations and all these things that you have now. And what that meant was we didn't have a big grant program. We just had like very small amounts of money that could never really fund a real budget to do much other than kind of like maintenance mode. And then Horizon Labs was like going out and, doing development basically pro bono for many years to get us where we're right now. But now we have real money with Horizon 2.0 going live. So I think this is going to be a major catalyst for us of major network activity and a major clustering of like privacy applications. So if you're in that category, definitely come participate.
Yeah, and I think just to touch on that, and I know you don't talk about token price too much, but with that, I think the grant program is huge because Zen was one of
Yeah,
those who, in multiple cycles, was a late runner. And why did that happen?
yeah,
Why? Because you didn't have that much funding, but you had
exactly.
product market fit or the right vision. And later in the market cycle, people would find out about you. You guys would explode. And when
Yep,
you started getting momentum, we were towards the end of the market cycle. This could be the
yep,
first time that Zen has new
yep,
product launches, product market fit, and funding at the beginning of the market cycle, already
yep.
starting to outperform some of the altcoins. It can catch that headwind rather than getting that tailwind at the very end of the market, right when the
Mhm.
momentum is coming. $180, massive momentum,
Yeah.
Grayscale, everything at the last of the end of the last cycle. But then Bitcoin drops 40% on your head, and nobody.
Exactly. And then there goes the budget.
Yeah.
100%. That's
So
that's exactly
that's the
it.
one thing that's happened multiple cycles of Zen. People are like, oh, what are
Yep,
we doing with our Zen? This is that is doing that. It's like, hey, keep
yep,
collecting the passive income. It's going to be a late
yep,
mover. That's what it always does. And I think this is the time where you guys could be on the forefront, where you got the marketing spend and everything to get ahead of
yep.
the curve and really stand out in the massive crowd of altcoins that we see right now. So to circle back to the node structure, for those who run secure nodes, they need to already take those offline. Those aren't producing anything. Am I correct
Correct.
on that?
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
exactly.
and then what is the timeline for those who are running super nodes? Like when do we got to make a change? When do we get some documentation so we don't keep paying for hosting services or anything like that?
Oh, 100%. So everyone's good right now. So we're looking at a testnet launch for Horizon 2 in January. So basically in a couple of weeks, we're going to launch the testnet and start getting some activity on chain. But those node systems are going to be continuing to operate until we hit mainnet for Horizon 2.0, which is probably going to be in April is our target launch date there. So between now and April, you're good. You don't have to do anything. We're going to have over the next couple of months extensive documentation on exactly what you would have to do to participate in Horizon 2.0. There'll be incentives and everything like that to transition as well. We have kind of a sister project that Horizon Labs has been working on called ZK Verify. Now, this project is going to be launching as well just prior to Horizon 2 with incentives for the Horizon community and Zen holders. So there's going to be an interesting mix of kind of like airdrop and user incentives to participate in the ZK ecosystem with two projects now. So you're going to have this kind of like hot new ZK Verify project on top of this old kind of OG, Horizon Zen project, and they're going to be very synergistic. So it's actually something to look out for your users. And then again, like you won't have to do anything because we're gonna have a ton of docs and everything just to alert everyone in advance. We want everyone to come along with us. We don't want people to kind of wake up one day and realize the nodes aren't being paid. We want you to know well in advance and come along and participate.
Yeah, I need to probably get look into some documentation of ZK Verify, or maybe get a contact from me, maybe have them on for an interview. Sounds interesting. To me, it sounds like if you're a
Yeah.
Zen holder or a Zen participator currently, maybe there's some kind of fair launch or airdrop mechanism for this new ZK Verify, like we've seen with a lot of other
Yep.
projects this year. And those are usually a really good opportunity to get involved with, and something where you can speculate on Zen, but you're getting a little bit of a
Yep.
hedge with an airdrop from ZK Verify. Obviously, guys, I have no idea. That's the first I've heard of it, but that's what it sounds like.
And Nick, guess what? Like in the same vein of you being the first to announce the whole like secured supernode system, I think you're probably the first to actually publicly be announcing any sort of like, economic relationship between ZK Verify and Horizon 2.0. But
Well, that's
again, those
awesome.
details are going to be forthcoming, but there's going to definitely be some sort of relationship there.
Yeah, I like to see that, because last time we talked and we were one of the first, obviously the rest is history. Zen had a massive success for the following year and during that bull market. So hopefully we can see the same here with Horizon 2.0 and the ZK Verify and these new products that are launching on your chain.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you very much, Nick.
Well, I think we covered everything I wanted to. I want to keep these short and sweet. I know the attention span of the TikTok brain is short nowadays. We'll definitely have to get more of these, not wait another year in between these, because it seems like there's going to be a lot to talk about, a lot of new projects, opportunities, tokens to be talking about with Horizon 2.0 early in 2025. Is there anything I kind of missed? And of course, guys, make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe, and all the links you'll need will be in the description as well.
Nick, this was intense as always because I think you honed in on exactly the important things. So, guys, just pay attention. In a couple of weeks, it'll be testnet time, and by testnet I mean incentivized testnet. We're going to have as well. So, there's going to be a lot of opportunities out there for community. Come join the conversation, though. I mean, we have Discord, Telegram, all the usual channels that you can come join, or just follow everything on X.
Yeah, and it's exciting to see the progress in Horizon, and obviously the Grayscale getting involved and the hype around that. Finally, you start seeing that Zen ticker symbol more and more on Twitter, and that's when
Yeah.
people start to do their due diligence. So again, I think timing is key, and this is the first time in multi-cycles, even though you guys have had success, tons of passive income, tons of price appreciation, that you guys are on the early side of the bull market
Yep.
that is here, in my opinion, that hasn't even
Yep.
begun, because we see the new administration and the regulatory framework and everything. And now you guys have the funding and the grant program to really send this thing to new heights and really onboard the users you need in order to succeed.
Framed it perfectly, Nick. Couldn't agree more.
Talk to you guys soon. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And if you want Rob on here again, leave a comment in the comment section below.